All right, guys. Bitcoin's dipping once again. Welcome to the stream. It's my birthday, and I thought I'd share some drinks. The thing with the Gabby debacle, like I saw someone is like, I'm following the Gabby Hanna debacle, and I wish I wasn't. Let's be real. It's impossible not to follow it to some degree. You know, it's one of those things that like, she's just like, she's sprinkling along with so many people. You know, like, I mean, just now Joey Graceffa and the whole like Escape the Night thing, and then like, you know, with Jesse Smiles, and then now the T channels. Like, dude, this woman is like a one channel warrior against the entire YouTube community. So it's like you can't really help it. Like, it's, no matter who you watch, she's not like. I mean, I have never talked about Gabby Hanna before, by the way. This is my first time talking about Gabby Hanna. So, you know, now I'm finally like talking about her, because I don't really like to go after like easy targets, right? Because yeah, she does a lot of problematic stuff or whatever, but for the most part, a lot of it kind of seems like kind of trivial. Plus there's already so many channels covering like every time she breathes, so I'm like, you know, there's certain people that I'm just like, God, there's already so much, there's nothing I can add to it. And you know, that's not to say that I don't sometimes cover, you know, somewhat saturated subjects or topics, whatever. If I'm covering a topic that is saturated to some extent or whatever, it's not, you know, niche, because I do like to go after niche topics. I do it, at least in my mind, thinking I can bring something unique to the table, you know, like for example the Stephanie Sue avocado Nikocado avocado. When I did that video, many people were covering that story, but I felt like that video on itself like was pretty unique. It covered the whole situation pretty well, succinctly. Let's do our first shot of rum, and then we'll just jump start. Oof. Guys, this is gonna be an intense night. I can just tell. I got some pink lemonade to chase it, okay? It's your birthday too, happy birthday. Oh, not bad, not bad. Not bad. So, Gabby Hanna is taking on all the T channels on YouTube. Yeah, if you guys don't know the whole story, to put it in short, she basically decided to kind of go on a whole self-made redemption arc, I guess, on a YouTube little series, and in one of her videos in this series, she decided to go against the channels that called her out for disrespecting a girl that was brutally murdered. Now, in this video of hers, she basically was looking for e-girl inspiration, and she didn't realize that the website she was looking at was talking about what happened to this girl, and you know, she ended up dressing like the girl, got some inspo, and the T channels were all over her, you know? But she got so much backlash and pressure that she ended up doing an apology video. And after the apology video, she also reached out to the family and said that she apologized, etc., to the point that the family themselves felt the need to even make a video themselves. They made a video statement saying that, hey guys, Gabby shouldn't have to apologize. She shouldn't have to feel bad. If she was still around, she would be flattered that Gabby was taking inspiration. And what I find to be interesting about this is that either none or very few amount of these T channels or drama channels, what do you want to call them, that covered this story and, you know, trashed on Gabby Hanna, they didn't really update the story that the family made this statement saying that we're not offended at all. If anything, it's a flattering thing. And if anything, we're somewhat offended of these drama channels doing this thing, you know? So if you think about it, it's just one of those things that's like, oh, wow, what do you know? Another case of people being offended for other people on the internet. What do you know, right? So I look at that and I think it's kind of messed up, you know? I think it's kind of messed up, especially because not only did they give her crap for that and didn't even rectify the situation, the story, but when she apologized, people called her manipulative. They said that's not good enough. And it's like, damn, okay. I don't know. It comes to a point where people need to chill, you know, like they're too aggressive, and just because someone's an easy target doesn't mean you should always try to find the wrong in them, you know? So I thought that was kind of lame. Shit, that's a pretty good summary so far, guys. Pat myself on the back. So let's talk about this this YouTube series that she's done, because right now it's actually being received pretty well. Actually, there's the likes and dislikes are disabled, so I can't really tell.
If you go by her Social Blade, it's not looking good.
Her Social Blade is she doing good in her series?
No, well, you might want to bring that one up.
Okay, let's see. Social Blade. I'm sure she's doing fine. I mean, she's a big Vine star. Okay, so she's lost 80,000 subscribers in the past 30 days. And roughly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 60,000 subscribers since the series began. Well, it could be worse. I'm not on Twitter, right? I'm not on Twitter, but when I see some screenshots or people send me tweets, I'm like, whoa, some is going on Twitter. And apparently, some of this includes Repzilla versus Nicholas Diorio. And I'm like, uh-oh, how will that turn out? Well, I don't know. I mean, you know, you can say that. You could even argue that, hey, Nicholas could take down Repzilla, no problem. But Repzilla's a Southern. He's a buff, dude. I don't know. I'm just imagining like a Pokemon battle or something. I don't know. When I watched Gabby Hanna's video about the whole situation, about the T channels, I felt like personally attacked. And I wasn't even someone who has ever talked about, you know, Gabby Hanna. Like, she was intense. Now, one of the things that she said that I found to be interesting was,
if I put this out and the response from the people who hurt me and who were fronting a smear campaign against me were to say, well, we didn't know, so that's why we were so cruel. You shouldn't have to know somebody's mental state or mental health or neurological makeup.
She's assuming that, like, man, these people could possibly feel bad, but hey, even if you feel bad, you know, it's kind of like a really aggressive way to approach it, in my opinion. And that's why it's kind of like, damn, okay. I mean, I can't really tell her objective. I feel like her objective, honestly, and there's nothing necessarily wrong with it, but I feel like she's here to start fires. She's spreading gasoline over everything, and she's like, yo, I got a match and I don't care, I'm gonna throw it everywhere. And that's fine, but like, let's be real. She's not ready to make nice. She's not ready to back down. She's mad as hell.
How is somebody supposed to act?
Oh, also, I gotta say, I like how she's like randomly holding a joint. Like in the beginning, she's just like angry, and then all of a sudden she's like, by the way, I'm smoking a J. But I'm still pissed. Maybe it hasn't kicked in yet. It probably hasn't kicked in yet.
I apologized for a situation that I should not have apologized for, and I'm going to stand my ground on this. Because while I am sorry that the family had to deal with this, this was not my fault. This was a slanderous lie that caused the family so much trauma. And the family has gotten on camera and said that they were hurt by what these people did to them.
Okay, I gotta say, this part also, I don't think it really flows, because she's saying that like these drama channels cause the family trauma. I'm sorry, but this is straight up dishonest, and you can see in the clip she uses to supplement her argument that it doesn't really add up. So let's watch here.
We didn't see anything wrong with what she did. She Googled e-girl and pulled up a picture of Bianca. Simple mistake. It was a simple mistake. There was nothing disrespectful about it.
Okay, so they say that, you know, she didn't do anything wrong. We're not offended, and that's fine. I think that it doesn't seem like a big deal. Like, it seems like an honest mistake. At the very worst, like, not a mistake to, like, you know, cause her all this stress, you know? I'll just let it play, but nothing about this family being caused trauma by these T channels. I think that's a little bit, that's kind of heavy to say, you know? So, you know, it's interesting that Gabby Hanna calls out all these channels, names them, literally tags them on Twitter as well. She tags them. She's like, you did this. You caused this family trauma.
And you knew that, Angelica Oles. And everybody else who started that rumor and went with that story and exploited a murdered teenager to the point that her dead body, the photos of her dead body that were taken by her murderer and posted on the internet were being sent to her fucking mother and sister. You did that, not me. She has said that she was harmed by you.
In this video that she played earlier, the mother did not say that they were harmed by the YouTubers, nor do I believe that because of these YouTubers covering the story. I'm sorry, and I don't mean to sound ignorant and stupid, but I don't think that because, you know, Repzilla or Viewer's Choice or Ready to Glare or whoever, Angelica Oles, whatever, because they covered the story. In fact, I'm actually pretty sure that the coverage of the story included, like, the pictures were already being sent to the family. Like, it's not because of the YouTubers. I find the argument really ridiculous that the YouTubers covering it caused people to send pictures of the victim to the family. Has that ever been a thing? Am I missing something here? The drama channels really, like, influence that kind of action? That seems kind of weird. No, Nick, I get that the T channels went too far, but I just think that the reach to say that they cause people to send the pictures to the family, I think that's fucking weird. I think that's extra. By the way, I'm so down to have people like co-host and argue about it, but let me do my best first, okay? Let me do my best to present some opinions here. All right, first, bear with me, guys. We're doing great. I think, guys, how are we doing so far? How's the show going? You guys having a good time on the show tonight? Let me on the call. Not yet, Nick. Okay, hold your peen for a little bit longer, bro. Blood, yes. Oh, Boblacks be like, yeah, I'm not the one that's gonna be owned on fucking stream for once.
That is what I did. That was my crime that I lost a record deal over, that I lost sponsors over, that I lost hundreds of thousands of subscribers over, that I lost friends over, that I lost job opportunities over, that I lost months of my life over in a deep spiraling depression because this was such a heavy situation.
Something about Gabby's tone makes it like hard. I think a lot of people see it easy to pick apart, be like, oh, like dismiss her depression and stuff. But you know, people pick up tone in the wrong way. Gabby, if I would give you advice, f those friends. If they left you for the wrong reasons, f them. Because at the end of the day, in this situation, like those T channels, they're obsessed with you. I'm sorry, but people that make like dozens of videos on you, that's extra. Yeah, there are certain names on YouTube that will bring you views, but come on, man. There's a bigger world out there. That's all I'm saying. No, the part about losing a record deal and like job opportunities, that sucks, man. That hits hard. Now the thing is too, like there are other dramas surrounding Gabby, and like you could tell throughout the series that's like she's had drama with Escape the Night. What else? There was like another one. Oh yeah, and Jesse Smiles, of course. Like those are two other major dramas that, dude, Joey Graceffa's video, and well, Jesse Graceffa's video was intense. He read her, but also I think it's his partner Daniel. He fucking, dude, they wiped the floor with her. Oh man.
Did you donate any of the money you made on those videos to the foundation that I have put out publicly, that I've called you to donate to? That's fine. Nobody can take your money from you. You earn that money. You do whatever you want. But you.
Okay, I gotta ask, has Gabby donated any money? You know, it's like, whoa, what? Where is the receipt, girl? That's all I'm saying. Hey, make me look stupid. Make me look stupid. I wanna look stupid. I wanna know that you donated, because I ain't seen no receipt. Chat, do I look stupid? Has she done this shit? Has she donated? Because like, what? She did? She did? Okay. Oh, okay. She did donate? Okay, you know what? All right. Guys, okay. You know what, guys? Look. This is an example of me taking back my little speech on a live stream. Gabby did donate. Shout out to you, girl. You get to look good in this. Fuck yeah. You flaunt that all over these fucking T channels. Fuck yeah. Rock on. Something takes a part of me. Hell yeah. Okay, girl. You get that point. What's up? You donated? Okay. I don't even care if you donated 50 or 20 bucks, you know? I don't care. That is a flex. Okay. There we go. All right. You guys ready? You guys ready for Nick?
Hi.
Yo, what's up, dog?
To answer your question, Kim Devins tweeted out publicly saying just because Gabby didn't publicize the donation doesn't mean she didn't donate.
Oh.
I don't know. I guess I'm having like an existential crisis because I feel like I thought my friends were more reputable than this. This is like the most clear-cut case of all time. The most clear-cut case of someone getting and everybody playing 50 different ways. It's her fault. Like it's insane to me. Like this is objectively. So you in the beginning of the stream used the drama channels took it too far.
Yeah.
What did they take too far? Why would you minimize it that small? They lied.
Wait, me saying it took it too far was minimizing it?
Yeah, absolutely.
What how am I supposed to say?
Dude,
how am I supposed to word it?
All right, dude, you can't take something too far. That's objectively false, okay? Because all these people right now, I want to know. Let me just gauge you and Rebzilla because we're talking and we're like having a nice conversation. I just want to know: do you think there's anything objectively wrong with reading an article and like saying that someone has a nice shirt? Like, do you think that Gabby did anything wrong now?
Back then.
In that context, no.
In the context of like understanding what's going on, like in 2020, would you make 2021? Would you make the video you guys made in 2020?
Well, the context is different from then to now, but it would be difficult not to make that video because her her reputation of and her track record is just so bad. Like you can't.
But what does her track record have to do with the fact that she opened up an article and said a girl had a nice shirt on?
When you say it that way, the context that's not at all bad. Like you can say, oh, you got a point, Edwin?
No, I'm not saying it in a specific
No.
way. I'm telling you, there is nothing controversial about that video.
No,
Nothing. There's no way to look at it. There's no light that it looks good in. Like it doesn't look bad, literally, unless you add 50 other drama stories that you've probably made videos on.
Well, it's like this. In the context of does the girl have a nice shirt? That's not bad. But given the context that she has this track record where she manipulates people and she's just like does these terrible things, then it comes with a certain type of expectation.
Okay, so I just want to skip ahead here because this is
also
really related to something else somebody said. So you can finish, but yeah.
Okay, well, the context, it's hard to say because there's multiple different kinds of contexts here because the story, you have to track it back from the beginning. The story comes out. This is a story that's very public. These pictures were spread out all over social media, all over Twitter.
Absolutely.
Everywhere. This was being covered by Philip DeFranco, multiple other people. I covered it in a news type setting as well.
Yep.
And then, not too long after that, Gabby Hanna, who I've also covered, and this is right around the same. And it's interesting because it was right around the same time that this Jesse Smile situation happened. So she was getting hate for that, and then she comes out and does this.
But comes out and does this. Like, what is this? What was her big flaw that you think she did in this video?
It's hard for me to speak on it now.
Should we try to play it?
This is a trap. Dude, this is fully a trap. I'm letting you know that I'm trapping you.
I was thinking that, but should I play it or something? Or
what did she do wrong?
Let me speak on both sides of it. So it's hard for me to talk on it because look, I consider you a friend. I don't know how you fucking feel about me, especially I guess you think I'm a T-channel or whatever, but it's like I don't want to make you mad. I'm not trying to do that.
No, Repsil, I don't care if you make me mad. I don't care if we're like, well, we can be friends after. I just want to know what Gabby did wrong.
After right now.
Okay, so when she went over this article, she had already done multiple other things that demonstrated that she manipulates people.
There is the bias part.
Okay, but what did she do wrong in the video? What's wrong with this video?
Get into it.
Okay.
She does this, and then what she's doing is she's not paying attention. She's going through this article, and then she comes to this part of the article where it says what this article piece is about in bold. And this right around the context is that right around this time, this is a huge story. Everybody's talking about this. This hurt a lot of people. A lot of people were scarred from this. It's really sensitive. So you have two different things. It's important to know that you have the tragedy that happened.
Yep.
Then you have the Jesse Smiles thing that she's currently in a controversy for. She's not being seen in the best light.
Okay.
Because it's come out that she's manipulative and all this other stuff. She's already been drug all over by commentary channels. And then she does this. And I guess one of the things that people were upset for is like, how does she see this? Because this was such a big story. And then it makes it through editing and all this other stuff. My criticism was, I don't believe that she couldn't have seen it. I think that she saw it.
All right, so your criticism is she didn't read the article.
Yes.
Okay, you didn't read the article. You called it a murder article in your video. It's literally an article on e-girls with one tiny paragraph at the bottom of the page. So I know when you made the video, you didn't read the article either. So I don't know how you could apply that criticism to literally anybody in this situation.
When I made my video, I said that she was making a video on e-girls.
No, you made a video saying she made a video on a murder article. It's in your transcript.
So many times because of you and Tommy. I've watched it over and over again, and I say Gabby Hanna was making this video about this. I don't even want to talk about it because it's sensitive. The whole thing with the mother and the family. I feel like this is something that we shouldn't be talking about, especially now.
In consent, she thanked me for talking about it on my timeline. So I'm just telling you That the big criticism that all these channels made, and I didn't watch Ready to Glare's video until today. Ready to Glare made this, you made this, Angelic Oles titled the video like this and clickbaited it to talk about it at the end of the video. Dog, all of you guys at this time, I don't know if you do this anymore, but what you guys fucking do is you just watch each other and regurgitate the same talking points in a different 17-minute style. That's what all of these people do. Because I guarantee not a single fucking one of you read the article. I guarantee not a single fucking one of you actually gave a shit. Because any person who like listens to this right now literally has to either die on the hill or admit Gabby didn't do anything wrong in that original video.
Nick,
and most people who look at it agree with me that she didn't do anything wrong.
No disrespect to the family at all when I'm talking about this. This is very important for me to say that. When I made my video, I started off by saying Gabby Hanna made this video talking about how to turn into an e-girl, and she happened across the part in the article where it explains a murder victim, a tragedy that had most recently covered. And one of the reasons I did cover it is because it was a recent story that I did cover, and people reached out and they're saying, "Oh, this."
But your quote from your video is Bianca Devins was murdered. I mean, she was has a legitimate murder article that she's pulling up as an example for a video. How do you not see this, or how does someone not see this? So you didn't read the article that you fucking talked about in the video.
Why don't you think I read the article that I made a video on?
Because you called it a murder article, and it's literally like midway towards the bottom of the article, and the whole article is addressing just regular e-girls. It's like e-girls, what they wear, how they look, and then it's like at the bottom, violence against e-girls. It's like a section, it's a sub header of the actual entire article.
Nick,
like if you look at it, it's not like Bianca Devins was murdered, it's e-girls. That's what the article is.
Like I said when I first made the video, when the video first starts, I go over it and I say this. She was talking about how to turn into an e-girl. Again, no disrespect to the family that I'm having to bring this up again, but that's what I said. And then after you guys came at me, you and Tommy specifically, like I listened to you and I went back and I changed the title of the video, and I did this because I'm listening to you. I don't know if it's you guys came at me. I feel like you came at me a little bit harder than the other people. I don't know. I mean, I think it might be because I'm a little bit more easily accessible to you guys. You can just reach out and you can talk to me, which you should have did in the first place.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. I don't operate like that. I literally no. That's literally I don't.
Yeah, it's what's funny is you don't operate like that, but I do.
That's good, dude. You can play the morally right card here. At least I read the fucking article.
I read the fucking article. Listen to me.
I don't think you read the article. And dog,
article.
I thought it was funny that you came in and kind of agreed with us on Tommy's stream. And now that Tommy's stream is down, you're like, Gabby slandered me. Gabby slandered me. Oh no, Repzilla.
Who's
Oh
slandering
no.
What's funny is whenever you're in hot water or you're hurting about something, I reach out to you in DMs and I talk to you about those things. But you don't.
Okay, but when I'm in hot water, I didn't do something as stupid as this.
Oh shit!
Nick, I told you like multiple times that I read the article.
And I don't believe you because you called it a murder article.
Well, you're entitled to your opinion.
Okay, but like it's pretty obvious, dude. And dude, how could you possibly say it's disrespectful for her to say this girl had a nice shirt when you did a news article on this girl's death? Like literally, you have two videos, I think 3 videos, one on the apology, one talking about how it happened, and one talking about how Gabby said her shirt was nice. Where the f*** do you fit in this situation where you have any room to talk, my dude?
I've explained it to you, and I don't want to talk any more into it because it's like,
dude, this whole community is fucking dog shit, and I'm so sick and tired of it. Like, I get it. We're slaves to our fucking audience. We have to sit here and shit on Gabby Hanna because Gabby Hanna's the big bad. Dude, they're calling her Onision 2. Fucking.
Not to further piss you off, because anything I could say is going to upset you, and then that's not what I want. I don't want to piss you off because I actually respect and I care about you, and I don't want to do that.
All right, thank you. I appreciate. I really don't appreciate. I don't care. But like, I mean, you could apologize or something or whatever, dude. I don't need apologies. I don't need you to like make it easier on me. Dude, you're cool. You're a cool dude. Okay, totally fine. We don't have to talk about like how much we like each other or dislike each other. I still don't understand what Gabby did wrong in that video.
I'm looking for the original article, by the way.
I can pull it up. Yeah.
If you want to find the original article, go to the sources in my video and it's linked.
Okay, let me find it, cause.
Oh, you linked it, but you didn't read it?
You are the one, like, dude, come on now. You are the one that keeps saying that I didn't read the article. I don't know why you keep saying that when I'm telling
E-girls
you.
and E-boys explain. Okay.
Why would I
Okay,
make
so it is an article about E-boys and E-girls. Okay.
Dude,
Okay,
how
and the
could
online
she
presence-
possibly have been mistaken by reading that? Holy shit.
Okay, you know,
dude.
well, yeah. Okay, yeah. When it's called something like that, because I couldn't find it from googling it, but now that I see it's called that, you know, I get that it's a stupid mistake.
Dude,
Like
none
yeah,
of these
you-
fucking people read that article. If they
The,
did,
the
this
thing
wouldn't
is,
have
like,
been a
okay,
story.
when it's called something like that, I can see how it is definitely a stupid mistake, especially when she's as clumsy as she is. You guys, yeah, it's fucking Gabby Hanna. Allow her to be clumsy and make dumb mistakes. Allow that. You literally already shaming her for everything else. Allow her to make a fucking.
Did she read any of the other passages in the article? Why would she just start reading
Nah,
an
she-
article
I mean,
halfway through
let's face it,
when she's
like-
looking at pictures? Like
Like she
who
wasn't
on
about to be
what fucking
inspired by
planet would expect
Kyler.
that?
Like I'm sorry, I'm looking through this. Like she's not about to be inspired by Kyler. Who the hell is that, right? And there's nobody really else. Like if you I'm sorry. I don't think I'm showing the screen. Like let's be real. I'm showing the article on screen. There's
And
literally
dude, by the way,
nobody else
chat,
being
you guys
shown
can
except
cry about
for-
this all you want. When I stepped on the stream, 200 people came. So shut up.
Wait, what?
That's supposed to mean.
I'm just saying the only person that's being shown except for like Bianca is like some dude called Kyler and some other things that was like removed, I guess. But you know, it's not a lot of options. So she just Googled it and was dumb. Okay, I get that. That's a dumb mistake.
Family comes out and the family goes, you know who you should be mad at? The drama channels. And everyone's like, wait, the drama? How could you possibly not perceive that as the people in the house being upset about it? Like, is it not rational to come to the conclusion that the family was upset about how this was handled? If they're saying that you should be mad at the drama channels, like you played that on stream, dude.
Well,
Can you
when
not come to that conclusion? I'm sorry.
if the family comes out and they say you cannot say anything against the family because this is something that affected them personally. So at that point, I think everybody just needs
Well,
to.
Petty Page ratioed the mom on Twitter, so I guess you can. I guess
no,
as long as you hate Gabby Hanna, like you lose your victim card.
I can't speak for everybody
Yeah, I mean-
else. I can only speak on what I've done. And I'm telling you, I'm trying to explain to you my situation, and then you're just not accepting it. And I can't help that you don't accept it, but I'm telling you, that's what it is. You know, you just disagree. And I'm willing to agree to disagree because, like, I don't know how any other way to say it. Like, I'm not afraid of you, dude.
Because you tweeted out like we're all wrong on this
like,
one. No, it's just you.
Yeah, I'm trying to like be respectful to you here and listen to you and hear you out.
All right, dude. I don't care about the emotional shit. Can we just try to talk about the points?
What's going on?
All right, what's
I'm
going on,
trying
guys?
to talk to you about the points.
You've
battery's
been
running
acting like you've been acting
No,
like
because I don't respect any of you people. I really
I know
don't.
it
This is
is.
You
ridiculous.
people?
This isn't
What do you
about
mean, you people?
This is the most clear-cut fuck up ever on this
Nick,
entire website,
this is
and
about-
nobody can wrap their head around it.
Ah, well, it's extreme, bro.
You've been acting like this even before the drama channel stuff.
Oh shit! It's getting personal.
I'm not
Let me.
talking about just
If
me.
anybody needs to tap out, do I tap out? Who's gonna tell me? Third party should tell me to tap
I
out.
just feel like you're really upset about something, and I don't think it's anything to do with this shit.
Guys,
I feel like you're
chat,
projecting.
should I tap out? Is everything okay? Look, I'm feeling buzzing. I'm feeling all right. Like
To talk about like 50 other aspects of the situation. So
guys,
You got
remember,
any
anything
questions
you
for what Gabby
say
did wrong? Throw 'em at
can
me.
and will be used against you in the court of internet.
yeah, like it's actually crazy. And I'm not just talking about Repzilla. He's just the one in the call with me. Like there are so many dog shit people, and like even my own community, dude, who says that all these T channels are objectively bad, are still shutting up about it.
But the
It's
thing is-
crazy. Everyone in private gets it though.
Somebody disagrees with you, you get louder, or you puff up your chest, and you act like you just don't want to listen to it.
Okay, then you should tell me something I'm wrong about, so you can get louder, or you could say
I
it nice and
can't tell you-
calmly and win the chat. Like, dude, I'm arguing points. You're arguing emotions. I don't care about that shit, dude.
It's even not even about emotions at this point. It's like you can't disagree with Nick, or he'll come at you, and your friends don't want to fight with you.
Dude, I'm so sorry you can't make an argument. And you're just like literally going after me for that.
Argument, dude. You just don't want. I don't want to fight with you.
All right, then like, why are you engaging with the conversation? I was talking to Edwin at first.
Should we tap out? I mean, we can tap out.
Like, if
tap-
you
mean,
can't, if you don't
it's-
have anything to argue with,
Okay.
it's not really worth my
I
time.
don't argue with it. I just feel like it's not right. The situation's evolved into something that's just like It's just disgusting.
Yeah,
I mean,
dude, I agree with you. We're 7 degrees of separation away from entirely all the blame being on Angelica, you, I guess less so Ready to Glare, but her video had 500,000 views.
Yeah,
It
I'm
was
sorry, dude.
perpetuating the
Okay,
same
look.
bullshit story.
Yeah. Ready to Glare. Should we watch Ready to Glare's video? She was not fucking anything, dude. Like, dude.
Here's the thing. Ready to Glare was like the least offensive one who just
Yeah,
told the
and-
same
and-
story that wasn't true. So like,
Well, the
again,
fact of the
I
matter
don't think
is-
she's a bad person. I just think she just talked about a story that's just ridiculous on all fronts.
But
and
did she? Did
contributed
you
to
actually
it.
watch
Yeah.
it? She didn't actually. She was commenting, bro. It seems like we do in the fucking Augie show, or whatever. We're just talking. Like we're just talking. She's
Yeah,
making
it's the same
critical
shit.
points.
Like, how could she not have possibly seen this in the article when it's obvious? that she
Yeah,
could've
but
totally
but
recorded
it's not
it?
the end of the world. She's not saying it's offensive to others. She's not trying to fucking like end her to the ground, you know.
let me ask you this from this perspective.
What up? What do you got?
Are you drinking? It's cool if you are. Like,
Yeah, absolutely. Let's keep
done.
going.
Fucking slowly.
I feel like honestly, I'm sober, and I'm gonna have to get a shot in a second because I just feel
Yeah,
like
bro.
this
You
is-
gotta get in the mood, bro. You got if you're not. Sorry.
So, all right, look at it from this perspective. Like,
pee already. Fuck.
I can't speak for everybody else, and I've already told this to you. You've watched the video. I don't know if you've watched the video as much as I have since you guys have been coming at me for this stuff. But I actually talk about the people that make videos on Gabby Hanna just to repeat this cycle, just to hate on her, just to progress that agenda. And I say that is wrong.
Well, I
But when
appreciate you doing that.
Do what?
I appreciate you doing that.
Yes. And it just doesn't make any sense to me because you come at me so fucking hard. I don't know if that's just like that's just what you do and you can't help it, but it's just like
Rebzilla, you made a video talking about this situation, quoting a murder article, quote unquote. It's
But
stupid
don't
as
you
fuck.
understand- Don't you understand? Like, this situation was very high emotions when it happened, and it affected so many people. And
Do you know my problem with you, Repzilla? I'll sell it out for you really quickly. All right.
Yeah.
This is my problem with you.
okay,
There are a lot of questionable situations with Gabby Hanna. For example, I think one of the most criticizable ones is her going on Discord and threatening to sue children. That's probably an objectively bad thing
Yeah.
that Gabby Hanna's done.
I heard
Perfect
about that.
example to bring up. There are totally qualms you could have about Gabby Hanna's treatment of Jesse Smiles. There's a list of things. This is one that is objectively not Gabby's fault. And the
Damn.
fact that you and all these other people can't just turn around and go, I got this one wrong, means I don't give a fuck what you say on the other 11 fucking videos some of these people have on their channels, dude. Because this is literally the most clear-cut case of someone getting royally fucked over. Dude, Angelic Oles called up the mother of the girl who literally tragically died and
that's
tried to argue with her. She says this in
Oof.
her own video. She tried to argue with
That
her,
was
saying
so
the
awkward.
reason I went so hard on Gabby is because your daughter was a victim. And guess
Dude.
what? She's friends with Jesse Smiles' rapist, and Jesse's a victim.
Oh, God.
If I'm the mother, I turn around and go, at least Jesse's alive. That's disgusting, dude.
are you?
Fuck
What are you?
her.
Are you? Did you say that that Angelica reached out to the sister?
The mother
Yeah.
and tried to argue why she went so hard.
The most awkward part of that video is this Angelica saying the mom didn't want me to show screenshots, and then Gabby's video said the mom allows me to show screenshots. And it's like, oof, Angelica, damn girl, you're getting buried. Oh, this is awkward.
It's infuriating. I would be off your back in a minute if people could just come around and admit they got one aspect of this entire story wrong. Because
Yeah,
then
it
at least I'd
sucks.
have respect for you.
Look, and here's the thing. Well, I
You're
don't
saying-
fully
you're
agree
saying that
with.
you don't respect me because of one thing that you disagreed with.
No, I don't disrespect you because you can't take accountability on something you clearly got wrong.
Well, do you have any other examples besides
I
that?
don't need other examples.
Wait.
I need you to turn around and
Yes,
admit, hey,
that's-
this obvious thing I did wrong, I obviously did it wrong. It's not all of us. We didn't all make a mistake. I made a mistake.
But Nick, in that situation, I'm looking at this, and my opinion is that I don't think that you can overlook this piece of the article that explains what happens in a situation when
Then you're
it has so much
disingenuous.
attention on it.
Then
It had
you're
so much attention on it. That's my opinion.
Dude, I respect the fact that you rebuilt your channel after Primic, and I gave you a chance because I was
Whoa.
pretty skeptical of you, but that's a dog shit answer, dude.
Well, why? Like, I don't get it. I'm sitting here telling you my opinion. I'm listening to your opinion. I accept that you think that people like, oh, she didn't see it, and there's there's no, that's
There's nothing f***ing disrespectful about that video.
what.
Even if she f***ing did see it, there's nothing disrespectful about saying that you like her shirt.
No, that in that context, no, there's not.
There's no issue with uploading it, even if it's the worst case scenario. It's not f***ing offensive.
You're not. That's not what happened. You do realize that she didn't just. That's not what happened. There's like a whole bunch of other stuff that happened there.
What else
so
happened?
we bringing in pre-context to judge her on this?
Yeah, that's all it is, because that's what he brought up in the very beginning over and over again. Yeah,
I mean,
Gabby
okay.
did X, Y, and Z wrong.
Okay,
but dude, this
look.
is Logan Paul killed, like, tased a dead rat all over again. Like, I
Right.
get it, dude. Logan Paul had a body in the forest, and it was unbelievable.
Yeah,
and
that's
he's a
bad.
piece of shit. But Logan Paul tasing a dead rat doesn't fucking matter, dude.
Is Logan Paul
It's
tasing a dead
stupid
rat?
as fuck, bro.
Who
I'm
cares
sorry.
about dead rat?
Like,
No offense.
I get it, dude. It's monetizable. People like that story. It was big. Everyone loved to talk about Logan Paul tasing a dead rat.
Now, okay.
Who
okay.
cares?
So, yeah, okay. Look, my thing is that, yeah, I get it. I think the channels went too hard for judging her on that. Like, I think she's gloating on it, and like to an extent, like, you know, is a little excessive. But you know, I get that expressive emotion. It would be interesting to see how she fucking would talk to these people, because some of the things that you know, and you know, Rebzel was saying earlier too, is like, yo, Nick, why don't you fucking talk to me like in private, bro? Like, because like the thing too was like with Julia, which, you know, everybody agrees that she didn't even do anything really that harmful at all whatsoever. Like, if you watch her video, it's not even really about, like,
Ready to
it's
Glare,
literally
and then I
just
found
like
out
a
she
passing
unfollowed
opinion
me.
kind of thing.
I'm just kidding.
So-
I actually don't hate Ready to Glare. I think she's a really good creator.
Yeah, yeah, she's great. She's actually very like introspective, and like you listen to her thoughts, like, damn, yeah, no, this girl fucking went to school. She's still going to school.
My only
But,
problem is she's just covered that story. It's just wrong. Like,
Right.
if I got a story wrong, I'd have no fucking
But
problem
it's
telling you I
not
got
like
it wrong.
It's
like,
just
I've owned up to tons of shit online.
it's an
I don't know
opinion
why
piece.
it's
Like,
It
like,
is.
you don't
That's-
have to like be like retract things.
Like-
you know, when it's not like you're not making an objective.
all right, then maybe
speaking.
I'll just reword it. Okay, maybe that's your opinion. Maybe if your opinion is that it's
Sure.
like it's really
Maybe-
fucked up to the
maybe
girl, then you're a fucking
policing
idiot.
opinions. How about that? Maybe you're policing opinions.
Okay, then you're a fucking idiot. I'll just rechange my argument from you lied to
Okay.
you're literally
Damn.
incapable of thinking.
All right, I thought
Like,
We're going somewhere.
that's what do you want me to say, dude?
Thought.
I'm sorry. Most
I
people
think-
other than you will come around and say, at least now, looking back on it, it's really not that offensive, and it's actually not offensive at all. The fact that you can't move off of this shows your character. Like, you're
Wait.
trying to make my character
Wait,
become, I'm
to-
such a dick, and I go
to be-
behind your back, but this is
Wait a
your
minute.
character, dude.
yeah. I think
You're-
that's the issue. I think
That was my
Rep is taking it more
character
personally
question
without
because-
realizing the actual point being argued. I mean, because Nick sees it in a different light than in the fact that, like, you know, like, yeah, he can accept. I mean, I even told her. I
I've made
told her,
too
I was
many
like,
edgy
dude,
jokes. I might have been mean to too many people. I might have pissed off somebody that some of these people in the chat really like. But at the end of the day, like, I'm not gonna lie. And if I get something wrong, I'll tell you I did it wrong. You know, like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's all you can ask from a creator. You don't have to be perfect, Repzilla. You don't. Edwin, you're not perfect. I'm not perfect.
what the fuck?
I just
But I'm
want
near there.
I just want
I'm not
people who are
perfect. I'm
around
not
me to not
perfect.
make me look bad by doing
I'm pretty
this.
cool though, right? For a Mexican.
Pretty cool. Yeah. I just
Thank
don't like
All right.
if you or anybody else, it's like I could be mean to you. I can't be mean.
Please,
to you.
just be mean to me,
I mean, Rep, you got you.
I can't do it. Like
Nick,
the only-
Rep, you can't. Nick is just a dude. He's just a fat dude in New York, bro. Who cares? He's a fucking Spider-Man villain. At least the goon that gets beat up by Spider-Man. Who cares? Just go off on him.
Is that
Alright.
real Ashley who just friended me? Because I thought I had you on Discord, and I'm hoping it's not Brit Bong.
What? What?
I got a friend request from Ashley, and I thought I had Ashley as a friend, so I'm a little nervous of who I just
Bro,
accepted.
don't say
I don't
that name on
accept
my
friend
stream, bro. I
requests
don't want
like
that fucking
ever,
curse on here.
Dude,
I don't want
have
that
like
curse on
so
here.
many. Oh god.
Oh Jesus Christ.
Don't bring him to this channel. You're the only one who doesn't have it, dude. Again, like I'm just kind of sick of it, bro. It's kind of shitty. I
Wilson
think a lot of
Fisk.
people. Are, like,
Dude, Nick is Wilson Fisk.
I mean, dude, Repzilla is like 11 levels down from like Angelica Oles, who I would argue is the worst person in this situation by like an astronomically high margin.
Dude,
I would
I would-
love to be talking to her. In fact, I invite her on my podcast.
Dude, yeah,
I would
if-
love
you
to
know,
have a nice conversation with
If
Angelica.
she wasn't sleeping right now, actually, yeah, I didn't reach out to her, but I would be curious to reach out to her and be like, "Yo, what the fuck do you have to say to this?" I mean,
Yeah.
I thought her video was just really interesting because she's like, she did like kind of, you know, she brought up a lot of like, well, you know, Gabby Hanna's used victims in her past, so like,
Yeah, it's literally
what
whataboutism, the same shit. Like everything that these people hold others accountable for, they did in this situation, and they're trying to dodge it. Like, dude, my video on fucking.
Are you saying that I'm doing that? You think I'm trying to dodge something? Is
Well, I
that what
mean,
think I'm
when
doing?
you tweeted out that it's everybody's
Is that what
like
you think
everybody's
I'm
bad in this
doing when I'm
situation,
sitting here talking to
absolutely,
you
dude.
publicly about this stuff?
Yeah, dude, I'm talking to you publicly because you're a f***ing public figure who criticizes other people online. I don't need to tiptoe around. Honestly, I would not give a shit if you did this to me. Actually, to be honest, this is how me, Bo Black's Augie operate. You watch our streams all the time. You pretty much know that. So I don't really care. Yeah, no. I'm an open book, dude. The easiest way to not get exposed on YouTube is to not do shady shit. So I don't care if you call me out on anything because I know I'm in the right.
So
The thing is just like I can't. It's when you say. It's like you can't see like any other opinion or options but your own.
Because it's like objectively
You
clear.
think like you're right above everything else, no matter what.
Yes.
That's kind
Because
of
it's extremely fucking obvious.
up, man. I mean, like, you cannot be like that in reality. Like, you,
I can because all of the evidence backs up me.
no, you can try, and you might get away with it on your Twitter. And
All right, dude, then just explain to me why I'm wrong. Can you just explain to me why I'm wrong?
The thing is that you in this situation, no one is right or wrong because you.
No, there are objectively wrong people. That you are one of them.
Then you are as well.
Okay.
oh shit! All right, I gotta pee and get on a drink. BRB.
Fine.
You
Is there any-
talk to
we're
me.
going in a circle. Is there anything else you want to talk about, team? Oh god, dude, Edwin, the moderator is not allowed to go pee. What are you doing? Stop making him get shots. I don't know, dude. It's really just it's kind of sad. Again, like not entirely on you. I think this is a community-wide fuck up, and I feel like it's just.
I feel like
I don't want to be friends with anybody who can't see that this is fucked. Like I feel like I picked the wrong group of friends on YouTube. I mean, a buddy of mine who I really like, and I have no problem with him doing this. Like, we were gonna make a video on T channels and stuff like that. He backed out, not because he doesn't agree, but like because like it's just too hot right now. And
Nick,
if I cuck to you and I cuck to all these other people, and like, wait, one more thing. I promise I'll let you go on. I just want to make this point: is if I cuck to you and I pretend I like sacrifice my morals. And I pretend Gabby did something wrong and pretend it's everyone's fault and pretend that like that video is offensive, then I have to sit here at the end of the night and realize that there's an entire community of literal fucking slanderers who do no fucking research in that T community, and that like they're objectively never criticizable ever again, because this is literally clear cut. And if you can't even get them to back down on this point, there's no fucking point making videos on this website.
I guess I'm back. Back to peace.
the thing is that, like, I do want to understand where you're coming from. Like, I want to understand it, but it's like you're not even like able to like understand that you like just because you feel so strongly and passionate about
Bitcoin
something,
dipping.
it doesn't mean it's like, what's the word? It's like, fuck. It doesn't mean you're right. It doesn't mean I'm right.
True.
I mean, all right, dude. I guess I can concede on one point. Some people are gonna see the fact that like this video wasn't offensive, and that Gabby was slandered, and
Yes.
that Gabby's emotions make sense, and then other people are just wrong, and I understand that.
There's got to be both sides. Gabby needs somebody like you. That's.
But
what
I don't want to defend Gabby
Never
because
mind,
Gabby is
Gabby
also
needs
objectively
someone
bad.
like you.
I just want people to look at this one situation where it's extremely clear that like X, Y, and Z happened that was objectively wrong, and that like this is why we've gotten 7 degrees of separation, where the mother has to publicly defend Gabby on Twitter, and fucking retards are going around saying that like the mother has been manipulated.
He said the
Because
R word.
in all these streams and all these videos, everyone's like, Gabby's
said the
so
R word.
stupid. Gabby's so dumb. Gabby's the dumbest person alive. Also, she's manipulative. She's controlling everything. She's got the whole community on strings because they're not even f***ing, like remotely consistent on their tag.
I need a shot.
Bitcoin's on sale.
Are we done here?
What?
Wait, okay. So how you boys feeling?
I got one more vent piece, but
Go get it. You got it. Floor's yours.
I can be the one to love. Okay, cool. Everything's good. My coins are good.
I don't know if I should.
No, please,
guys-
please. You have my consent. Let's go.
My consent, bro. Okay.
So it's
All
like,
right.
for me, it's like, it feels so personal
Okay.
because you're coming at me like this, right? When I know you said that's what you do, but the DMs are open, and many times in the past, like I come to you, I talk to you about situations. I've tried to help you out in situations, and I've helped you to the best of my ability to work out different types of scenarios. But when it's on the shoes on the other foot, you don't afford me that same type of respect. Like you go completely to public to Twitter, and it's just like, dude, like my DMs are open. Like if you could have come to me personally and said, hey man, this take you had on Gabby Hanna, it was like up, like this, that, and then I would have been like, oh, what is it?
Yeah, no, honestly, dude, that's Nick. They just impulsively tweets, is what I'm saying.
At the end of the day, it's not going to bother anything. It's just like, I'm just trying to be real with you, like one-on-one, and your stands are in chat, and they're calling me a woman because I'm showing my emotions. I'm the type of person where I do wear my heart on my sleeve, and that's just who I am. That's who I've always been.
And you shouldn't be criticized about that. I disavow that. I think you can be emotional.
Well, wait. He didn't say that.
I'm just like speaking how I feel. Like if your ass would have came to me and you said how you felt, I would have been much more understanding. But you come to me publicly like that, and it's just like, why? Why would you do this to me when I would, like, every other time I've came to you, privately? I just don't understand it. I even tried to go to Tommy the first time privately to talk to him about this shit, and he said, nope, this is content. And I'm like, God damn, I can't trust these motherfuckers at all.
Oh.
Like,
So-
why? Why?
All right, am I in?
Yeah, go ahead.
Are you sure you don't want to say anything about the situation before? Like, this is like your outro. So, like, do you want to say anything about Gabby?
Okay, so
I'm
wait,
not
so
being a
just to be
dick. Like,
clear,
you didn't say anything about Gabby, so you want
just
to
to be clear, just to be clear, Rebzo's taking it personally. Gabby, Nick
All
is
right,
trying
so
to
we're
make
off of Gabby, and now we're on
Honestly,
personal
this
drama.
has nothing to
Yeah,
do with that.
because Nick is making
Nick, like,
stay on
it's
Gabby.
a personal thing.
Okay, I just want to let the record show that you used your outro statement to not talk about what we're talking about. But all right, so my biggest issue with you, to be honest, I was skeptical when I first met you, and I was totally cool with you. We let you on. We brought you on multiple live streams. You know exactly how our community works. You've come around and hung out with us when we've had big streams and stuff like that, and small streams. I appreciate everything you've done for the channel and stuff like that. And I've had reserved judgment because I know some shit, obviously. And I think, to be honest, for the most part, I thought you were. I thought you were a good, outstanding. I thought you were like. I thought you changed for the better after the whole situation with Primic. Now, based off of this entire situation, I got bad vibes when I saw you made a absolutely objectively bad video that's literally like on par with some of these ridiculous videos that were made about Gabby. This is a public video you made, and I reserve the right to publicly criticize it when it's literally the topic of conversation that I'm talking about. And I'm sorry if you think that I should have taken it to your DMs, but even if I took it to your DMs, I can fucking promise you I was going to talk about it because it was that bad. Okay, just being clear with you. Now, after having this conversation with you, watching you dodge every fucking question, that I didn't take the entire fucking night, and not be able to take any accountability for the situation at all, I realized that I was right for tweeting it out the way that I tweeted it out. I do not feel bad at all. I do not care. I don't have a personal problem with you, no matter how much you want to drag that up. I have one like thing that I have, and it's me trying to be objectively true when I make statements and stuff like that. And me telling the truth means more to me than your feelings. So I'm really sorry that this hurt you on a personal level. I didn't mean to, but I don't think me being cool with you on a few live streams is the same as like me having to go and not criticize you publicly. I don't think you should put that on me. I don't think that's entirely fair. And I think that it's not above criticism publicly to just be
think
cool
that-
with me.
I definitely didn't say that anything was above criticism. You can criticize me all you want, and you're
Apparently
saying
I can't.
no, you can do that. That's fine. Like, but you're saying I'm dodging accountability. If
Yes.
You, in what way?
You tweeted out this is everyone's fault. Everyone's wrong in this situation. No, you guys are wrong in this situation. Gabby is not wrong in this situation.
And what, like, dude, right now at this point, everybody that is wrong in the situation, we're wrong for like even trying to bring it up. Like, it's not right. It adds to the whole
Well,
situation.
I mean, I personally got to thank you for saying that you guys are all being pieces of shit. So I don't know what you're talking about.
You're just a part of it, though.
Well, I don't know. Maybe she'll be mad at me after this stream, but she
Ooh.
wasn't when I called everybody out.
Wait, okay. From what I'm getting here is that I don't think Rep is necessarily disagreeing that he was wrong as much as he's taking it more personally because it's Nick, someone he valued. Am I getting this wrong?
Dude, I think this conversation's over, so I'm gonna end this right here. The drama channels didn't give a fuck about the Bianca Devins family when they called out Gabby Hanna for views, attention, money, and all this stuff off a ridiculous allegation. Okay, the drama channels didn't give a fuck about Bianca Devins or her family when the mother made a video to apologize. In fact, they all made videos talking about, or most of them made videos talking about how like Gabby apologized, and that's it. They left all that other shit out. The Bianca Devins family didn't give a I'm sorry. The drama channels didn't give a fuck about the Bianca Devins family when all that shit happened. When Gabby made the video talking about people should give apologies and stuff. And by the way, the mother shouldn't have to request an apology for you to feel bad. I know that goes without saying. If the mother didn't accept apology, you probably should just feel bad for like doing it, and you should probably just want to make an apology. But regardless, and then all of a sudden, ready to declare, it became a huge fucking thing about like you don't respect the family. You don't leave this whole situation alone.
Dude, like, look, the family came out with their video talking about this stuff before my videos. You
Right.
understand that? When the
So
family,
wait. Are you saying that the Bianca Devins family video that they made defending Gabby predates your video?
no, it was
No,
after.
he's saying it came after.
Okay. Yeah,
After.
okay. And then you made a video on that video, right?
But did you update?
Or at least the apology.
Yes.
Or did okay.
We're in,
you
we're in that
you made
video.
a video
yeah.
in the statement
We're
from the
in
family?
that video. I said Gabby Hanna did a good thing, regardless of what anybody thinks.
Wait, is there a video on the update?
Yes, and if you listen to it, I'm like, Gabby Hanna did a good thing. She did a good thing.
Dude, I'm so glad she did that after that whole murder article fiasco video is still on your channel. But regardless, I mean, we can talk about this all night long. I don't want to go back in a circle. We already established this.
Tommy Stream, you gave me suggestions, change the title, do this and that, and I did
Yeah, well,
that.
on Tommy's stream, you like took accountability and you kind of like rescinded that. So like, I don't care about the suggestions anymore. I think that you should stop making videos.
I did not rescind anything at all. I stand by everything I said.
You went on Twitter and fucking said that like it's everybody's fault. Everybody's wrong in this situation. They're not. It's just you.
back what I said in Tommy's stream. That's completely different.
Okay, dude. Again, like, we can go back in circles all you want. My point is, like, none of these people gave a fuck about the family until it was convenient to, and then all of a sudden, everybody on Twitter is now saying the.
I cared. I give
All
a
right,
fuck.
well, dude, I promise, dude. Pinky swear, I believe you, dude. Are we done? Can I go now?
I mean, do we have any other points in the Rep? Do you think?
I just think Nick needs to understand that his opinion is not the only one that counts, and not everybody's gonna agree with him.
But thank God I'm here to give it, because no one else has the balls.
Okay. At the end of the day, though, I think the ultimate thing is that this shouldn't have been blown up as much as it should have, right? I think that's an all-around agreeable thing. Am I right?
I agree with that. Yeah.
Nick, wow, he just fucking dipped, of course.
I just wish he wouldn't act like that.
I mean, okay, that is his overlying point. So, I'm just saying, like,
Have a constructive conversation with somebody that will not let you talk, that just keeps
well,
on.
I'm not sure if that's what he was missing from you saying. I feel like he was wanting you to say that. I'm not sure if he was missing something else or what.
He said, like, I'm saying it's just the most immature thing I've ever seen in my life.
Oh shit! Oh, now that he's gone, what's up, Nick? What the fuck, pussy? You gone? Boblax, go. I think you have privileges. Go ahead and join, Boblax.
It's just like, dang.
Yeah, I didn't want to just hop in because I didn't want to like make anything like awkward or.
What's up, Boblax?
But I will say, hey Nick, I have the balls to say that I think Gabby Hanna's pretty much 100% in the right on this, and the T channel's definitely f***ed up. I agree pretty much with Nick's like opinion, factual wise. I don't agree with how he's going about treating Repzilla, but that's just a personal thing. I treat people.
Yeah, that's just as someone who's also been
differently.
treated by just.
all these quote unquote T channels, since this situation's happening, are they not out there making videos and just capitalizing off this stuff? And I still haven't made any videos since almost nearly 2 years ago, and I'm having to sit here answering to Nick because, you know, he can act like that all he wants to and even call me emotional or whatever the f- he wants, but it's like he.
If you would you like make that video today? Like, do you regret the stuff you said in that video about the initial situation?
Well, you watched it recently,
2020?
so let's see what you think.
Yeah, like, are you like, oh, I wish I said something differently? Like, obviously, you wouldn't have called it a murder article if you were to redo it and stuff like that.
So, when the situation was happening, there was a lot of high emotions, and it was all unfolding at the same time with everything. I had just released a video on Gabby Hanna treating Jesse Smiles like literal garbage, and then I'd also just covered the tragedy that happened, and then this happened. And it's just, to me, with the emotions that I had, I was just like, how do you, with as big a story as this is, how do you not see this in this article? It's in bold. It's right there next to her picture. Nick's argument is, well, she was just saying this thing was nice, but I mean, still, emotions were high.
Yeah, so it's like a bit of an overreaction due to the previous context. You're like, oh, what the f***, Gabby? Okay, you know.
And then I was like, man, this kid, and you got to understand the video also has to make it past editing. So it's just like, listen, I'm a YouTuber too. I make videos. I'm looking at this article. I look at the article. I look at the whole article because sometimes the ads on those articles will dox your address if you're not careful. So I'm looking at the article. That would have not made it past for me. I would have seen that and been like, you know what? I should probably choose a different article. That's what I should probably do. Would I apologize?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, Gabby probably should have looked at the article, but she did blur it afterwards. And I think the notion that Gabby was intentionally trying to exploit a murder victim is just completely insane. I think it's fine that she even complimented the girl's t-shirt in the article or in the video or whatever.
That's me too. Like, as I said in Tommy's stream, I should have probably not titled it that, which I did change it upon their suggestion, yes. And I should have made it a little bit more clear that the whole entire article was not about the tragedy, just that one part of the article. But that was just an oversight.
Yeah.
You know, I did my shit, and like.
Yeah, that's like a minor oversight, just like.
And then the rest of the video, Nick is acting like my takes are like all these other T channels. They're not. You watched the video. I'm soft as hell. Like, I'm not trying to intentionally hurt people in my videos. I mean, it's pretty clear. And he makes it out like that's what it is. That's what it feels like he's trying to make it out. And I'm trying to say, no, it's not. But yeah, so I apologize.
Well, I think he's saying that, like, you're saying that your video wasn't a mistake and you still stand by it.
No.
Yeah, I think that was the issue. I think Nick was like having issues with you, like not regretting it. I guess I don't know.
No, that's not what he
wants you to regret it.
That's not what he said. And plus, I can barely keep up with him because he doesn't even let you get a word in.
He says a lot of sentences at once.
Yes, exactly. So no, like, would I make that video now with given all this stuff? No. Are you serious? That's why I've not made any content on this stuff.
But he's saying, like, would you even make the video? Like, say there's, like, you could go back in time, you remove the emotional value from it, but it's all the facts that are from 2020 are still there. So it's just Gabby making the mistake in the video.
No,
would you still make a video on that?
No.
Yeah, so yeah, you do regret it. I guess there's just like a miscommunication between you and Nick. I think that's because Nick said you walked you regretted and
Well,
saw me stream.
yeah,
Now you're
okay.
walking
What
it
I feel
back.
like, yeah, exactly. And what I feel a lot is like, you know, like Rep is obviously many of Rep's points where he was offended that like, yo, Nick, I thought we was cool. Why wouldn't you reach out to me?
How am I supposed to deal with this type of situation? Like, I feel like I get in situations like this a lot. I don't understand the shit. Like, it to me, it's pretty like logically easy, and maybe I just have a different way of interpreting things. But it's like the emotion for me. It's like context during that time. Emotions were high. It was
Yeah,
irrelevant. and,
Nick doesn't have emotions. You can't talk about emotions.
Well,
in
he
Nick.
has emotions, but he's trying to look at the situation.
Wait,
on
wait,
a
you wait.
pure
Boba, you're saying
factual
Nick has
basis.
emotions? Really?
Yes, I've.
Whoa!
Is that a leak? Is that a leak?
Shit,
Is
shit,
that
shit,
like a
my bad,
big- Is that like a big DM leak? Is that a behind
Wait,
the
wait,
scenes
wait,
leak
my bad.
that,
Hey.
that Nick has sympathy and empathy, especially for
My
YouTubers
pretend I didn't say that. Never mind. I don't know. No, I think that I don't know. It is a weird situation. You know, it's like especially weird. I can see where your episode is coming from. Of course, for sure. Anyways,
Yeah, that was.
Ulysses, what about DC? What does it mean, DC? What about
I'm not gonna lie. Like,
what does DC stand for?
I'm sober and pissed off. Like, it's hard for me not to be. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, Nick went off the rails. He definitely was like intoxicated to some extent, probably. He kind of went off the rails. I haven't seen him go off the rails in that like long. Not in terms of his points, but in terms of his like aggression. I don't want to undermine Nick. Everything he was saying, I completely understand and get and agree with. I just
You can see both-
he was over aggressive.
drama
Yeah.
channels.
What? Bo Black actually have the ability to see both sides of a situation? Is that what you're saying?
I guess.
Gabby Hanna is a little intense, a lot intense actually. What other content did I have prepared for her? Oh right, so you know what's actually I thought was really interesting is that Angelica Olds brought this point on that Gabby Hanna herself has actually made a video about a different girl that was murdered and that she went to school with or knew in the past, and her own mother was like, "Yo, why are you reflecting her like this to your millions of viewers?" You know. And she ended up making an apology, but did she ever donate money, you know, kind of thing. I don't know. It's a whole mess. Like, dude, the touching anything related to Gabby Hanna ends up like touching anything related to fucking Onision. It's like,
because
oh.
it's because when you look at a Gabby Hanna situation, I feel like a lot of people who know Gabby Hanna really well, they can't isolate the situation and they like relate like everything Gabby is doing onto like a situation. Like for example,
that's true. That's true.
This Bianca case is so cut and dry that I think the T channels are in the wrong and Gabby's in the right. But since there's all this other stuff around Gabby, it like kind of infects the situation. It's hard to look at it objectively.
Exactly.
And to be fair, it happens in our community too. Like maybe if Ethan Klein did something, we would look at it way more like badly because of his past, even if he's objectively in the right. I think ultimately, if he's objectively in the right, we'd say he's objectively in the right. Like for example, I think he's in the right with the Triller lawsuit. I've said that on my channel. But there's still going to be that bias, and I can see why people have that bias towards Gabby. But it's also good that there's people who don't have that bias, like me and Nick, who are coming in more fresh to, clear the air a little bit.
That makes absolute sense. I think that's definitely Angelica Olds. Like she in her video, she starts stating all these points about like, well, Gabby has this past with this. She like the fact that it does sound kind of weird to look at it to a completely like outsider perspective when you don't know the stories of Jesse's Mouse and everything. Like for Angelica to start telling this like mother like, hey, well Gabby has this like sketchy past with like Jesse's Mouse. The mother's gonna be like, what are you talking about?
This is what confuses me about some of the T channel's responses recently, is that, and to say that they're not on the wrong, because this whole situation hinges on the opinion and feelings of Bianca's mother and sisters and family members. Right? Like the whole point of calling Gabby out is that this could cause stress for the family. So the family is always the core thing we're trying to focus on, the family's feelings. So if the family says they're okay with Gabby, the family says they agree with Nick's opinion, then that means Gabby and Nick are right, because that is what this whole drama is like centered around, is whether or not Bianca's family is comfortable with how Bianca is being talked about online. Well, also, happy birthday, Edwin.
Oh, thank you, bro. Thank you. I'm old, yeah.
How old are you now?
This is the first time I've been asked this entire stream, so 32. Oof, not saying it again.
Damn.
Dude, once you pass 30, you don't.
I don't think that's too old. Like,
Too old? What the fuck is too old?
not too old. Well, if you're like 40 and you're on the internet talking about YouTube drama, I don't know. Like, if you're Tommy C, like, I don't know, dude. Like, he's a little crusty. Like, he
Thank
needs
you,
to, like,
Mike.
go to a retirement home. Like, I don't know. But
Well, Tommy C's
32?
too old? Oh shit. Okay. Time for the next Bo Black's live stream on Tommy C show. Damn, dude.
Ashley's here. What's up, Ashley?
Hey.
How you doing, girl?
okay, pick a side right now. Zilla or Nick?
Okay, listen. Do you want my actual opinion?
If you want to share it.
No, I'm fine with it because I've been like really thinking about it for the past day or so, and I feel like me and like Edwin and everybody have all like kind of talked a lot about it as it's been developing, and I think like I definitely 100,000% think that there's nothing wrong with Gabby's video. She obviously didn't mean to do it. There's nothing wrong with that video. Like in my last video, the whole Shannon thing, at the end, I completely ignored something on screen by accident and kept the video there. I edited it, I screenshotted it, everything, but I got it wrong, even though it was right there on screen. I said it wrong. I don't think there's anything wrong with her video at all. I think drama channels 100% milk her for content because she's an easy target because she does a lot of things wrong and she does say a lot of fucked up things. So she's super easy for people to cover, right? It's an easy buck, just like it is to talk about like TikTok drama. While I do agree that drama channels 100% enabled the discussion to continue and kept the bringing up this traumatic subject to this family, and it probably did further traumatize them because it was constantly in their face, I don't think it's fair to say that they are the reason that the pictures were sent to the family, because that's objectively not true.
That's fair.
Yep.
Because, I mean,
Extra.
those were
Yeah.
on 4chan, those were on LolCow, or
Right.
not LolCow, but like the Kiwi Farms,
4chan
whatever.
wars.
That very specific point about the pictures is just not true. Did they probably get kicked back up into the algorithm of the internet and get thrown around again? Sure. But those are not the reason for that. So that's my take.
I think people are giving Gabby way too much. People are saying Gabby manipulated the family. Like, every time I see Gabby, like, post about something, like, on her YouTube, I see, like, all of Twitter just, like, fucking all caps, like, Gabby, you're a monster,
Okay.
disgusting. I'm like,
Can
dude,
I just
she
say?
did that for her video
Okay,
today, which...
I would like to say that a video titled like Gabby's horrible to her sister feels really weird, and maybe it's just because I'm taking it too personally. But like a video like titled like if somebody's about my family, like, oh, my sister said this about me on social media, that would feel weird. You know, like personal boundaries like with family,
Yep.
it feels weird. Sometimes you gotta relate to yourself. Like, okay, how would this feel coming from me? You know, like. You know, and this is what I told her. I was like, bro, you named that video like Gabby Hanna is a disrespected a murder victim. Imagine like a video called about you, like Edwin's generation disrespected a murder victim. I would never want that in my life. I would never.
What I was trying to do is I was trying to explain Nick my thought process and how I felt during the time and why I felt that way. But as Bo Black's put it, now, yeah, I fucked up. I wouldn't have did that. I wouldn't do that.
I guess he didn't hear that. He didn't hear that. He wanted to hear that. You know, he wanted to hear you kneel, and
I feel like you're right on that thing you said there.
yeah, and I mean,
I feel
at the end of
like-
the day, it's like
I feel like he's
I don't
taking
know,
it,
and that's
because, like, I'm easily accessible to him. He's taking out all his frustrations on these T channels on me specifically. That's what I feel like.
Well, yeah, because you're the
dude.
only one
Hey,
who-
you want to know something?
Exactly.
Speaking of the devil, Nicholas Diori just tweeted positivity turtles roughly 2 minutes ago.
What?
So,
Dude.
son of a
Leave
bitch.
the turtles out of it.
Yeah, leave the fucking turtles. The turtles didn't do shit to you, bro.
Another drama.
Everyone in chat post some positivity
Like,
turtles.
oh, this is it. I shouldn't do it. I would retweet it, and my fans would like take it over. I know they would, but I just feel like I don't want to. I'm gonna let
Guys, everyone in chat, while I'm going to
Hey,
pee.
look, listen. I'm gonna say this here. Nick is right. He wins because
Whoa.
he's right.
You mean I gotta edit this part next to the other big chunk of you guys arguing? Damn it. Alright, look, I gotta pee. Hey, look, I just want to say this about
Hey,
people
listen,
people
I
on
can't do
Twitter that
this.
fucking try to start shit.
Hey,
People
you
on
need to
Twitter
know
that try to
this.
start shit between creators like that, like
need to know
this person says this about you, like literally you're the worst, annoying, worst piece of shit ever. Like
You wanna
I
know-
get that shit all the time. Like oh, this person you're associated with this says shut the up, dude. Like if somebody I'm associated with said something about it, like cool. People don't get that, like, you know, Bo Black's gonna have a different opinion than me, and that's fucking cool. Augie can have a different opinion than me, that's fucking cool. You know, Nick can have a different opinion than me. We're not the same people. Like they can
True.
disagree. And like if I say something casual about like, oh, Boblax is dumb for this opinion, or Augie is said this stupid shit. I don't agree with Augie. Like I don't agree with plenty of things that people say about
Oh,
me.
you can't say that about Nick though. He'll come in. He'll fight you.
Well, no, Nick has a lot of dumb takes. So what?
Oh!
So what? But
Oh!
when people, when the audience takes it so personal, and they're like, oh my god, Edwin does Nick does Edwin, you should. No, honestly, I do get a lot of comments that are like,
Edwin and
your
Nick
friends,
are over.
Augie and Nick are like, I'm like, dude, I don't give a. Like I don't keep up with everything they do. Like I'm sorry, if you don't like them,
Like,
don't
you
watch
can
them,
agree,
block them. You know what
disagree,
I mean? If
Someone
like,
messaged me on Twitter the other day before I deactivated, and they sent me like a screenshot of something that somebody posted, and they were like, "Hey, I couldn't help but notice that you follow this person," and like just listed off all these reasons why like I shouldn't associate, and I straight up was like, "Hey, no." Like that's not how it works, because it's not
Cringe.
like you can have different takes, and I get that even in my comment section. And like whenever I do live streams, there's always somebody that's like, "Oh, you're friends with Edwin though," or "Oh, you talk
What
to
the fuck, dude?
you've
Edwin's a
been
good
talking
guy."
to Augie." It's like I don't even talk to Augie. We just follow each other.
yeah, seriously, following doesn't mean endorsement. Like, dude, I'm sorry to say, but like, look, seriously, look, and no offense if you're one of these people. Look, seriously, no offense, but tell me something real. Do you agree with everything that your mother and father say? Do you agree?
Exactly.
People are so intense. I don't know if it's a COVID thing, but like, dude, take it easy. Shit's not that serious. I'm gonna go
I
pee.
just don't understand
Take
how
care.
people like don't get that you can have conversations with people even if you don't like them. Like you can have conversations, and like there are plenty of people that I don't even follow or that I didn't even follow, and I would see their takes and I would like or I would engage with some of them because they were actually good. And just because I don't like that person or follow them doesn't mean I'm not allowed to have an interaction with them that's anything but negative.
Exactly. I mean, like, I'll be honest with you, like, most of my YouTuber friends, like, we're, like, complete opposites. And I get like, people come to me and be like, oh, how are you even friends with these people? How can you be in their streams, specifically, like, Augie and Nick? Like, they're this and they're that. And I'm like, this is their thing. Like, this is me. Like, it's okay. You can sit there and you can be friends with people that have different opinions than you and shit like that. Like, it seems like people on Twitter don't understand that.
There is one opinion I can't forgive though. Repzion in chat earlier said anybody who puts mayo on hot dogs should burn in hell. I can't associate with Repzion after he said that.
Do you put
Sorry.
mayo on your hot dogs?
Yes,
Why?
because I'm badass.
Why is Repsion trying to start beef with people that put mayo on their hot dogs?
Repzion's been saying the wildest.
Let the
Whoa.
world fucking be. What does mayo go on if it doesn't go on bread?
Honestly, if you don't like mayo, you're kind of just like misogynist towards mayo. Like you don't have like
Dude, yeah, misogynist towards mayo. Wait, is that the real term, bro? I don't know about that.
I like mayo, but not on a
Mayo-sogynist.
hot dog.
Hey, guys, we gotta make sure my chat gets a better reputation because Augie always makes sure he shits on my chat's reputation. We're cool.
I like the Edwin chat.
Ouch, my knee. My chat's awesome. Fuck yeah. Awesome. Thank you, Boblax, for getting the best reputation on my chat.
Hell yeah. All right. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, bro. Hell yeah. Guys, officially from now on, Boblax thinks my chat is awesome. And we have been awesome. Honestly, like every stream since I've been back from YouTube has been awesome. Like there's been no drama. Everyone's being f***ing awesome. Literally, I've seen no trolls in this entire chat. And maybe I'm just not paying attention, but like entire live stream, awesome. You guys are all amazing.
I had a good time.
Wait, but Dream is actually chunky in real life, right?
No, that was. Well, we don't know.
That's not actually Dream?
Apparently not.
So that docs was not even real docs?
Apparently not.
What the
Layers.
Okay, no problem. I don't care what Dream looks like. I don't care that he's not actually chunky. I don't care.
We're stuck
Chunkers
in
can
identity
deal with it.
prison.
You know what? In real life, like, this thing, you guys forget that in real life, most people on Twitter are actually chunkies. You know? It's fine. Maybe some of you guys are chunkies. That's not a problem at all. Because think about it like more cushion for the pushing, you know what I mean?
Edwin, I literally have your biggest fan in my DMs telling me that they love you. I swear to God.
What? Anyways. Alright guys. Peace out. Yeah, I appreciate y'all. Fuck yeah. Y'all are amazing. Peace out. Thank you for checking out this recap from my live stream. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe with notifications so you don't miss the next live stream, or check out my Patreon and watch them the next day.